Hey guys, I'm Teresa with Sippie Couture. I posted a photo on a unicorn colorburst tumbler that I did, and a lot of you guys really liked it and wanted to know how to do it. So I'm going to do my absolute very best to show you guys. Fair warning, I have 4 boys and a husband, and we're all home right now, so I'm going to apologize for any and all of everything that may happen during this video. I haven't done a tutorial before, but I will do my absolute best to show you how to do this. And it's so soft and pretty. I really love the way it comes out. And I usually do it the color at the bottom and the white on top, kind of an ombre, but after seeing Jessica Flynn's color burst, I mean, I had to turn it into this. I mean, why wouldn't I, right? All right, guys, so bear with me. I'm sorry for what may happen during this, but I told people I'd try, and now I'm trying. All right, guys, so we're starting off with these 3 colors. I have a fully prepped cup, so sanded. I washed it down with Dawn soap and spray painted it white. My white isn't completely, I mean, you see how it's kind of blotchy, but there's gonna be a bit of paint over this, and then we're gonna touch up these ends with more white spray paint, and I'll show you that whole step. So it doesn't have to be flawless, but you definitely wanna make sure that you don't see a lot of that dark color coming through. These are the colors that I'm using. They're all from Joann's Fabric, and it's just a matte acrylic paint. I've done them a lot with this Craft Smart paint, and actually this pink, I felt like it was a little too dull, so I mixed a little with this pink Blast, just from Michaels. So these are basically these are the 3 colors I'm using. Obviously you can do this with any color, but this is what I have. And I just put a little on a plate, and I have my 4 paint brushes. I try to get away with just using 3. But every once in a while, if that color bleeds over, then I have to kind of go back and touch it up with a brighter color. Like if the yellow, how do I say this? If some of the color travels into the yellow, I clean it up and brighten it up with the paintbrush. So, all right, let's try to see if I can do this again for you guys. You're gonna go through and you're just gonna put it on that middle section. And I usually go about 2 paintbrush width thick, if that makes sense. I've kind of changed that up over time, and I realized that if you do about, double the thickness of a paintbrush, you can kind of get every color around it. And I'm just gonna wait for that to roll back around so I'm not chasing my cup in circles. I'm doing everything kind of on an angle, and I'm making sure I don't leave it too thick as I go out towards those ends, because the next step with that spray paint, it is fine glitters that we're putting on here, and you really don't want it to be too heavy on those ends to where when you lay down that fine glitter, you'll see the crinkles of the paint. So I just do 1 color at a time, put it on, like I said, about double as thick. I don't worry about that middle part too much, because I do go in and I blend it with the next step. I'm trying to remember what paintbrush I'm on. So then I just start it over. And like I said, if you go kind of double that width with the paintbrush, you're able to get each color on there once. I always ombre base before I ombre any type of glitter. I feel like it just gives so much better coverage. Little room for error, I guess you can say. Then I should be able to do 1 more yellow. Then again, I'm trying to pull it up and down. Now where these 2 colors meet, I'm going to take this and I'm going to blend it in to make it green. And I'm going to wait for that to come back across, and I'm going to blend it in again. That way it kind of gets that complete rainbow look. Now when I was doing one of these, I think my pink touched my blue, so I'm going to use that to make purple. And then I'm going to do this one too. I feel like this is the hardest part, is trying to remember what paintbrush you use to kind of get those colors to go. Because if not, you just end up with like browns. All right, so then my yellow, I'm going to take that and I'm going to make, where am I at? Oh, this needs to go more. Ah, see, look, just did it. Okay, let's try to make orange. There we go, it's actually not too bad. And I'm sorry, I am not a great teacher, but hopefully this gets you guys. You see how thick that yellow is? I'm definitely going to have to go through and blend in some of those colors, and that blue is too thin. So I'm going to probably go back with a little more and extend it in each direction. It's funny because sometimes I knock these out like no problem right away, and others I'm like struggling. And of course the video is when I struggle, right? There we go. See, that kind of made up for it. And kind of just playing around. That's the good thing about this, is that with the paints kind of blending like this, it gives you a bit of room. I'm just gonna check it. There's a bit of glitter that goes over this, and this is actually just a very base layer. There's a few glitters that do go over this, so it's okay if it's not perfect. But you definitely, like, I don't want that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I definitely don't want that. Okay. I'm gonna get that blue one more time when it comes around because it got a little messy on that one spot. Okay, so that's it. That's the base layer for the paint for this unicorn color paint. We're gonna take it outside and I'm gonna ombre in white from both directions. And I'll be back to show you that. All right, guys. So I have that that color down, so I'm gonna go in now. And I use just a dowel rod, so I can just spin it. I feel like it helps me get my colors a little better. And I'm gonna go in with just white spray paint, and I'm gonna bring it down some on both ends. I bring that white, kind of the heaviest, along that end, and then I just tilt my can a little. Am I doing that right? Yeah. Make sure you guys can see me. I tilt my can a little, that way some of the overspray lands towards the cup and it kind of gives it just an easy fade. Sorry, I'm trying to see. I don't know how to do this to make you guys see it. I'll just do it like this. Okay, so you see how that color is just heavy in that middle part and the ends are white? That's all we really want. That right there, you see that big old blotch of pink? I'm gonna go ahead and fix that, because you want this right here to be really white. That contrast just makes it so pretty. All right, so this is the this is it. This is the base for that unicorn ombre, and I'll take this back inside and let it dry completely. However long it takes your spray paint and paints to dry wherever you are, use that time frame. You really can't touch this too soon with this next step, because we're gonna go back in with an ultra fine glitter from Nola's glitter that I just love. It's called Magnolia Opal. We're gonna do that Tackit method on there, and it really gives it just a nice opal blend. It's really pretty. I'll show you guys, you'll see it. All right, see you soon. All right, guys, so the next step of this is I'm going in with my base glitter. I like to do Magnolia Opal, and I do Tackit method. I feel like it just gives a better transition, like a softer one where it's not just cut from this color to here with the white. And I know that some people water down their Tackit, and it's just Tackit over and over. I know some people water it down. I don't. I just use it like this. I haven't had any issues. I know I probably blow through it quicker, but I never have any issues with it, you know, taking weird. And like I said, this is just a base layer, so it doesn't have to be completely perfect. There's one other version of this that I do where I leave the whole thing opal. I just leave it Magnolia Opal. This is going to have Magnolia Opal with a white glitter over it. So it doesn't, like I said, base, it doesn't have to be perfect, but for that other one that I leave Opal, I really do my best to, like, this has to be flawless for that one, because that Tackit method is your final, like that is your end result. That's what you're seeing. But this is just going to be covered by that burst of chunky glitter in the middle and the white on the ends. Okay, so I'm brushing this on, making sure I have all the spots. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. And I really like doing the bottom of my cups. I haven't quite figured out the whole trip to taping it off. So I still do the bottom of my cups, but instead of having like a thick glitter that I have to fight with, I do either Magnolia Opal or some other type of ultra fine glitter. Maybe like Cullen from Feather Bear. I can't think of any of the other names of them, but those type of really fine ones. Let me see. Vanilla Orchid is one from Nola Glitter, and I forgot what my gold one's called, but whatever the gold one's called from them is what I usually do the bottoms with. All right, so I have that on. This needs to dry a bit. Not sure if you did Tackit before, and like I said, I haven't done a tutorial of this. I know Nola has a great video, a great Tackit video, and that's what I followed. But you just get that on there, brush it through. It has to be, I don't think completely dry, not quite sure the rules. I know it has to be tacky. So I usually just hit it with the heat gun to get that, to kind of speed it up a little. And then I'll go in with the Magnolia Opal, because you definitely don't want that Tackit to be a bit wet. Okay, that's usually enough. And the fun part. And I know some people, I saw a few questions about if anyone reuses their glitters after they do Tackit. I definitely reuse this stuff. I feel like so much of it goes onto that paper, and I can't waste this stuff. It's too much. Too much money, too pretty, I can't waste it. So I do it right over the paper. Whatever falls off, as long as your Tackit isn't wet, you can reuse it. If your Tackit's too wet, then what falls off is going to have a bit of moisture in it, and it's just not, like, it's going to get everything else just stuck to it. But I do reuse it. So you put that on, dump your glitter, and then just smooth it out. You're not pressing too hard on this, you're just kind of running your hand over it to lay it all down. And again, like I said, you want all of that paint and that spray paint to be completely dry for this part. If it's not, you're going to be running that paint through it, and it's going to be, you got to start over. And I figured that out the hard way when I was in a rush one time. Okay, so this is my very base layer of glitter. And like I said, whenever I do an opal one just like this, I actually leave it. I leave it like this and then just drop my chunky right there, and it comes out so soft and pretty. I'll post a photo. I did one the other day and it was just so gorgeous. But like I said, this is just the base whenever I do this one, because I feel like it does give that softer blend and it still has that opal look to it. The other thing I'm going to do right after this, before I go in with the epoxy method for the chunky glitter and the white, is I'm going to spray paint this. I'm going to seal this with a clear spray paint. For some reason, I feel like there's times when I do tack it and my epoxy will kind of like reject that glitter, and I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong or if it just doesn't like tack it every once in a while, but I seal it just to be case, and then make sure, just to be safe. And then make sure that's completely dry before you go in with your epoxy for this next step. All right, so now I'm just gonna go in with the epoxy, and I like to do kind of like this chunky opal in the middle. It's Louisiana lace from Mr. Nola Glitter. And I'm just going to do a really thin coat of epoxy. It's just enough to get your glitter to stick on there. You definitely don't want it too heavy on the ends or your glitter will kind of look wet, I guess. I don't quite know how to explain that. All right. Don't go too rough with this because you don't want to take away that the Tackit. All right, I think I got it all. I hope I got it all. All right, we're gonna let that spin for a second to even out, and then we're gonna go in with the glitter. All right, now I'm gonna do my best to do this. This is kind of the part I usually curse through. Like I said, Jessica Flynn's glitter burst, I think she called it, video tutorial is amazing. Like, I would almost just stop here and go watch hers because it's really, really good. But this is all I do for this. She kind of drops the chunkier ones in the middle. I'm not all that talented, so I just go in with this. And I'm gonna drop it heavy in the middle and tilt down so it can fall, and then continue dropping and tilt the other way so it can go onto the other side. And I do my sticker on the bottom. I know that's, you know, one of those things that some do, some don't. I do. So I kind of go really heavy with this because I like the way it is when it's thick. And then I just let it fall towards the bottom. And then that same thing, go the other way. I don't know how to get this where you guys can see it. Hopefully you guys saw that. And I kind of leave it heavier towards that middle part of the color is. But I do like for it to go kind of throughout that whole unicorn color, see? So that's what I have for that part. I'm gonna clean this off. And we're gonna go in with Westbank Junior is what I use. And I know I'm all over NOLA glitter with these, but I'm local New Orleans, Mandeville, and I like the shop local thing. So now I'm gonna put this, hopefully you guys can see this, I'm really sorry. So I'm putting it heavy toward the bottom, and then I'm gonna tilt up so it can go in towards the top. My camera's probably on the wrong end, but I'm trying, guys, I'm sorry, I'm trying. The good news, you can see it when I do it the other way. All right, so here we go. I go heavy white on the top, and then let it fall down for the other colors. All right, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna let this spin for a little bit, and then I'll go in with a piece of parchment paper and tap down all that glitter so it's laying flat. But this is it, guys. Like, this is how you do that unicorn burst. Set this back up. Sorry, one of those weird people that likes my cups spinning that way. And I'm just going a little more heavy. Every once in a while I, you know, get that epoxy way too thick and it soaks in. So then I just go around my edges really good, just to make sure that's on there. All right, so we're gonna let that spin for a bit. Like I said, go back in with my parchment paper and lay down all the glitter that's sticking up so it's just flat and nothing weird when I go to do that layer of epoxy. And then from here, I do quick coat, let this dry all the way. I will seal this. I just use Rust-oleum 2-time clear gloss. I'll seal this, that way nothing moves around when I go and do my epoxy steps. And I probably won't video that because you guys, y'all are great. Y'all know how to do that, right? So I'll just seal this. I'll go in with the epoxy, quick set, and then get my decal on there if that's what they want. And that's it. All right, so just kind of going through and sealing off that so that none of these glitters want to shift whenever I go in with my next layer of epoxy. I always hit the bottom of my cup too. Like I said, I do my sticker on there, but I do it with a really fine, this one's Magnolia Opal, glitter on the bottom just to, because I don't like the look of stainless yet, and I haven't quite, like I said, I haven't quite learned how to do that. So this is all sealed. I'll take it back inside and start getting the last bits of epoxy on it. Alright guys, so I've had this spinning for a while. I did my sealer, my Rust-oleum 2 times clear gloss sealer, and I'm just going to go in with my first layer of epoxy. And it kind of just depends on if you were able to get those chunky pieces to lay down, of how much epoxy you're going to have to go back with it. I mean, hopefully I could just do one, but who knows. I almost feel silly showing this stuff to you guys because I know you know how to do it, but just in case anyone's watching for the first time, I figured I might as well just throw it on in there. And whenever I'm doing this stuff, I never like to kind of touch it way too much with where some of that glitter is, just in case I thought I gave it enough time to dry and I didn't, because I am probably the most impatient person you will ever meet. Okay, so I have this first layer of epoxy on. I'm gonna grab my torch, run through and pop any bubbles. Definitely don't use too much heat on this. Just go through and pop the bubbles, that's all I'm doing. And I can kind of tell now just by the way some of that glitter laid down that I definitely will need to go back with another coat. So I'll probably take it outside, sand up the edges, take care of any other parts that looks like it's poking up that's way bad, and then put another coat on. And now I think that's it. Now I'm going to go ahead and end this video because that's pretty much it. I mean, from here, it's just your final coats of epoxy. All you guys know how to do that. And that's it. That's it. Final coats of epoxy, decal if you want, and you're done. Pretty easy. Hope you guys like it.